Hi guys, if you are going to Krakow, you're probably gonna go visit the old town, eat pierogi, and take photos at the castle. But there is one place that most tourists walk past. It's the Czartoryski Museum, and it has one of the most important art collections in all Europe. Today I want to show you 5 artworks that I would recommend you to go and see there in that museum because they are like true masterpieces. And let's start with the big one. This is Lady with an Ermine by Leonardo da Vinci. This is one of only 4 women's portrait that Leonardo da Vinci ever painted. I mean that I know it till this day. The other famous one is Mona Lisa, and you can go to Paris, stand in the crowd of like 300 people and see it through the glass. I mean, it's also an unforgettable experience for sure, and if you have a chance, you definitely have to do that. But you also can come to Krakow and see the other one almost by yourself. I mean, that's how, I was lucky enough to experience it almost by myself, where what there were no people at all, probably me and just one woman at the whole room, which is honestly unforgettable. This painting was painted around 1490s. Her name was Cecilia Gallerini. She was probably around like 70 years old, and she was the mistress of Duke of Milan. And just look at her hands on an ermine. Leonardo painted it so precisely, so scientists actually have to study it um, to understand how he saw the human anatomy. This painting was bought by a Polish prince in Italy, and it's been in this collection ever since. It survived wars, revolutions, the Nazis, and we still have a chance to see it in real life and stand in front of it. But we'll get to the story a bit later. Now I do want to talk about another true masterpiece. That it's the landscape with the Good Samaritan by Rembrandt. It's right next to the Leonardo, and now most people know Rembrandt because of the portraits and those romantic faces that he's painted, like those men with beard. But this is a landscape, and Rembrandt painted only 6 oil landscapes in his entire life. So this painting is truly very rare and valuable. This painting tells a story from the Bible about a man who was wounded, who was beaten, robbed, and left on the road. Everyone walked past him except one guy, the Good Samaritan, who actually helps him. But here's what I like the most about this painting is that the landscape is large, the nature is so dramatic, like those beautiful light from the sky, like the clouds. Everything feels so huge, and you can feel the power of the nature, but people are so small and tiny that maybe you wouldn't even notice them at the first glance. And then the light just guides you through the painting, and you notice those people. And maybe Rembrandt wanted to say us that those small acts of kindness happens every day, and people not do not pay attention to that maybe enough, or sometimes people wouldn't even notice that, but that act of kindness becomes the most important part of the whole painting. This painting and painting by Leonardo da Vinci and another painting that I'm gonna tell you later about it's the part of the Great Three. It's 3 most precious pieces of this entire collection. But before I tell you about the last one, I also want to talk about 2 artworks that definitely worth being seen and noticed. This one might look like a painting, but it's actually mosaic, and it looks like oil on canvas, but there is thousands of tiny pieces of stones and glass that are put together so they would look just like a painting. This is a copy of the work by Guido Reni, And this copy was made by Vatican Mosaic Studio. It's kind of like the workshop that's been running in Vatican since like 1500s. They had a problem. All oil paintings were destroyed by humidity, so they had to do something with it to keep those masterpieces alive. So they decided to replace every single painting with a copy, with a mosaic copy. And these copies look so great that probably still a lot of tourists in Vatican think that it may be oil paintings, but they're all mosaics. And they all also made like smaller copies as a gift for like important families or kings, presidents, and etc. And when you stood in front of it and looking at this mosaic, you just can't stop looking at it because like you see all those tiny pieces that are put together, and honestly it looks amazing. And another painting that doesn't get enough attention as it should, it's called Judas by Andrea Mantegna. It's painted around 1495. It shows Judas, a woman from the Bible who saved the whole city by cutting a head of the enemy's general, and she looks completely calm. It looks like she's putting groceries in the bag and not someone's head. Mantegna painted in a way that it almost looks like a sculpture, and all like the textures, the fabric, everything feels so alive and technically insane. But what I love the most about it is the energy. She didn't wait for someone to save her and help her. She did everything by herself and saved the entire city. Now the last story that I want to tell is a quite heartbreaking one, to be honest. When you walk through the gallery, you will see the golden frame, and inside there is gonna be just a black and white print, and underneath it says the lost artwork. This is all that was left from a portrait of a young man by Raphael. The original painting was obviously like colored, it was warm and beautiful, and what you see now is just a print that was put in original frame, so you would know what is missing. The golden frame is real, and the painting is not, and nobody knows where it is now till this day. So in 1798, a Polish prince brought to Poland three masterpieces, Leonardo, Raphael, and Rembrandt, and they were called the Great Three. They were the most precious paintings in Poland, but then the Nazis came. In 1939, the man called Hans Frank came to the museum and took all three of them. When the war ended, they found the Leonardo, Rembrandt, but the Raphael was lost and it's still missing. Nobody knows where it is. Maybe it's in someone's basement, maybe it's some ways in private collection, maybe I don't know, maybe it's gone completely and was destroyed. The Czartoryski Museum is one of the oldest museums in Poland. In 2016, the Polish government bought this entire collection for 100 million euros, so it would stay in Poland forever. So if you're in Krakow or you're planning to go there, please make sure you are going to visit that museum. Thank you guys for watching. That's it for now. Maybe you've been there already and you can write me in the comments your favorite painting or artwork in that museum. It would be very interesting to read about this. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day and see you soon.